What makes a happy relationship? I'm going to give you 3 ingredients in this video so that you can have happy relationships. These are actually the 3 fundamental requisites you need to have in your relationship so that they can become happy. Without these 3 ingredients in your relationship cannot persistently become happy, and I'm going to prove it to you. In fact, I'm going to insist you take everything I say with a grain of salt. Become doubtful of everything I'm going to say so that you can have a thought experiment. You can think about it rather than buy into anything I'm saying. Think about it for yourself. Try it out. Use the scientific method, which is taking something that you've heard from somebody else, applying it into your life, testing it out, and seeing how it works for you. And I guarantee you that these 3, logically, I want you to pay attention, is what makes a happy relationship. So let's make a delineation, let's make a presumption here that the relationship we're talking about here is presumed to be about love, about your love for the other person. Because I want to make a clear delineation that a relationship is merely how you interact and interface with entities. It's merely how you interact and interface with other people. And there are other relationships based on not love. There are relationships based on finances, based on business dealings, not necessarily on love. In fact, they work incredibly well, not having anything to do with love, because all the constituents within that relationship agree from the outset that they want a relationship based on business requisites, based on the benefits provided for them other than the love for that relationship. And perhaps along the line, they spend enough time, they become more and more intimate with each other, they grow to love each other, but they work incredibly well because all parties know, hey, it's about the money, or it's about the real estate, or it's about the business, or it's about rearing children, it's about building a dynasty of children so that for our family, for the sake of our family, rather than for the sake of our love for each other. Perhaps it has nothing to do with our love for each other, and maybe we'll grow to love each other along the line. And all parties understand that in their relationship, so it works incredibly well. But we're going to presume that you want a relationship based on love for the person, and they want a relationship based on love for you. So with that clear, with that in mind, what are the 3 ingredients? And by the way, if it's the first time you're seeing this, my name is Ron John. I'm the author of Relationships 101. I'm the head trainer at Great Relationships University. I'm the operator of the #1 Tantra therapy in the United States. And I also have the course Perfect Relationship System, link in the descriptions. So are you ready to learn the 3 ingredients so that you can have happy relationships? And by the way, what do I mean by fundamental requisites? To have something as fundamental in your relationships, it is of central importance. That is what fundamental means. A requisite is what's required to have the thing. So fundamental requisites is of central importance that are required. These are the central tenets in logic. These are the axiomatic requisites so that you can have happy relationships. And they are, I'm going to give you what they are. I'm going to explain them to you. And I'm also going to explain what's the opposite of that. What if you did not have that in the relationship? What would it look like? So number 1, unconditional love. The love must be unconditional. Your love for them and their love for you must be based on love that is unconditional. The distinction is what you've learned, or what you've probably been practicing, is conventional ways of doing relationships, which is fundamentally conditional. What's the distinction and what's the delineation? And by the way, you practice this without thinking about it. You've never applied the scientific method of relationships and say, hey, I'm going to take these ideas, I'm going to apply it into myself, I'm going to test it out and see how it pans out, see what's consistent, see what doesn't work, and I'm going to make alterations. No, you didn't apply that when you're doing relationships. What you've done is you've taken what's convention, you've taken what's common, you've taken how most people practice relationships, and you've applied that into how you do relationships without question. And that's the key. You have never questioned it. So you said, oh, I love you, and presuming I love you, all of these conditions have to be in place, such as, what are some examples? Such as it has to be sexually exclusive. And then you think about it and you say, I love the person. Why do they have to be sexually exclusive to me? Well, and then some people say, well, love and sexual exclusivity are one and the same. You can't love somebody without sexual exclusivity. That's insane. And then you think about it and then you say, well, there are a lot of people I love that are not my family, and I love them and I want for their happiness. I really care about them, whether or not I have sexual interest in them. So what is the delineation? What is the distinction? So let's make it very clear. Conditional love is a relationship in where you only love them, or you only presume you love them, or you demonstrate that love only when conditions have to exist, when they have to reciprocate certain conditions, such as sexual exclusivity, proximity. They have to be with you at such amount of time. They have to live with you, and then you can love them. They have to be sexually exclusive with you, and then you love them. These are the conditions. Let's say you tell somebody, I love you, but then they're not sexually exclusive to you, and then you don't love them. Is that the condition? Is that the logic? They're not sexually exclusive to you, so you don't love them anymore. So what kind of love did you actually have for that person? What is your definition of love? Is your definition of love sexual in nature? So let's make the delineation. What is unconditional love? Unconditional love is your wanting for your beloved's happiness intrinsically to your happiness. What does that mean? The same happiness you want for them is the same happiness you want for yourself. And I will argue that the happiness you want for yourself is one of the most important things in your life, if not the most important thing that you want and desire in life. See, you want that kind of love for your beloved. So you don't have to be involved in their life for you to love them, you see? They may not have to be proximal to you, meaning near you or live with you. They could be traveling, and you love them and you want for their happiness. You want for their pursuing the things that make them happy and actualized. What is actualized? Actualized is when they're pursuing something that fulfills their desires and their goals, their wants in their life. They actualize what they want. They bring it into fruition. They reach their goal. Whether it's a desire goal, or a financial goal, or a business goal, or a personal goal, or a psychological goal, whatever the case is, the pursuit of it is the actualization of it, bringing it into fruition. So you want that for them because you love them. It doesn't require sexual exclusivity. It doesn't require proximity. It doesn't even require their returning that love for you. You love them, so you want for their happiness whether or not you're involved in that. That is love. That is love without conditions. Some people say, oh, there is no such thing as unconditional love. All love must require conditions. And I will argue with you, there are a lot of people that love other people without requisite for its return. There are a lot of parents that love their children no matter how heinous their crimes may be. Understand? So, unconditional love must be part of that, one of the ingredients to have a happy relationship. What's number two? Before I go to number two, let me just go over what is the alternate? What is the opposite of that? Well, the opposite of that is conditional love. So the thing about conditional love is that it might work for some time, might work in the beginning. Sexual exclusivity, since you're in infatuation where your brain drugs you with hormones so that everything they do is attractive. Everything they do is wonderful and beautiful. They can do nothing wrong. They can do nothing that's not cute. Because your brain drugged you with hormones. This is called the infatuation period, which lasts from a couple of months to a year and a half. lasts that long based on your exclusivity with them and your access to them. I'm gonna leave that alone for now. So it might work for a little bit. It might even work for a few years. And then you recognize this is the reason why the chemistry in relationships, they go away. And you have less and less sex because you're biologically not wired to be monogamous. Humans did not evolve to be monogamous, but I'll leave that alone for now. What is the number 2 ingredient? The number 2 ingredient is non-judgmental acceptance. Non-judgmental acceptance is you're appreciating the person for who they are. Appreciation meaning understanding. You understand the person, that they're that person, and they're incredibly unique. There's no two-person in the world that's the same. And so every relationship that you will have a different dynamic because they are individuals, as you are an individual. And you honor and appreciate that about them. And you recognize that you can't fake a fetish. You desire some things that they might not desire back, and they desire some things that they might not desire back. But there are a lot of things that you both desire which you both share synergistically, and you do happily, wonderfully. But those things that which you don't align, if you have number 1, which is unconditional love, you want them to pursue those desires, those things that they want and like that makes them happy and fulfilled. If they're not something you both share together or can share together or can share with other people simultaneously or can share with other people separately, you want that for them. You want them to pursue other people and other avenues and other platforms so that they can pursue those things that makes them actualize and fulfills their desires. And you appreciate them for being a man, or you appreciate them for being a woman, and you appreciate with understanding that they will do women things and men will do men things, and they will do their own unique things because they're them. And you appreciate that, and then you set expectation management so that you can say, hey, these are things that I would love to enjoy with you because I really like and enjoy them. And then there are some things which we don't enjoy together that I'm not really into, which I encourage you pursue in some way, format, or with other people, or even with other people you like, admire, and adore, and even find attractive, or even find arousing. I'm happy for you to do that. Number 3 ingredient, open communication. So what's the opposite of open communication? That is closed communication, which is what's common in relationships. This is why relationships are not happy. It's because they can't communicate. They cannot be themselves. So I want you to think about this. Without number 1 and without number 2, unconditional love and non-judgmental acceptance, without those 2 things, you can't have open communication. Why? It's because if you love them conditionally, you can't be yourself. If they love you conditionally, you can't be yourself. You can't communicate about the things that you want. Oh, I find Sally so cute. Oh, I found Harry fucking sexy as fuck. I would love to fuck him. Oh man, that girl is so hot, man. I would like to get a number and take her to bed. You can't say that in a conditional relationship. You could certainly say that in an unconditional love relationship because it makes you happy, it fulfills your desire, and makes you actualized. You want that, and so you're able to openly communicate about it. You're able to openly share about it with your partner, and they appreciate you for it. And say, "Oh, really? Well, you need me to help you get their number? Or you want me to introduce you to? I happen to be the same sex as them. We'll happily connect. I can introduce you to. I can help you disarm them so they can be open to communicating with you. Or you want me to give you a ride to their house? And what time do you want me to pick you up?" You're helping them actualize their desires. And they love and appreciate you for it because they recognize that this is about unconditional love. This is not about conditions. This is not about a business deal. This is not about a marriage certificate. This is about love. You're genuinely caring and wanting for my happiness, which is the happiness I want for myself. And because you have that, because you have unconditional love and appreciating who they are. You can openly communicate about anything. Have you ever had, most people never had this, have you ever had a friend which you could communicate absolutely anything about? Even ones that are sexual, even sexual desires? Well, that's the relationship you have, except you love them even more than a best friend. You are intimate at the most intimate level, at the deepest level. They know you with or without clothes, your deepest psychological levels, the things you never communicate with anyone, you're able to communicate with them because they're non-judgmentally accepting of you. And they love you unconditionally. They want the same desires that you want for yourself. This is what unconditional love is all about. So without that, you can't communicate about anything about most of the things that you like, that deeply desire. You have to keep them to yourself, and you can't actually be yourself in the relationship. That can't make for a happy relationship if it's about love, if it's about self-expression, if it's about freedom, if it's about personal enlightenment. You can't have a happy relationship. You can only have a happy relationship without those three ingredients if it's not about love. It's about a business dealing, real estate, property, whatever, an exchange, financial reasons, whatever the case is. Do you understand? So let's review. What are the three requisites, fundamental, central of importance requirements so that you can have happy relationships? Unconditional love. You must want for their happiness intrinsically to the happiness you want for yourself. Whether or not you're involved in that. No jealousy, no ownership at all. Number two, non-judgmental acceptance of who they are as a person. You can never fake a fetish. Encourage them to be the person that they are, what makes them self-actualized. And number three is open communication. Absolutely every party involved in the relationship can be the person that they are, never having to pretend, never having to keep secrets because there's no requirement for it other than professional ones. I happen to be a Tantra therapist, and all of my clients are confidential. And so those are things I keep secret to myself. And my partner appreciates that because she appreciates that kind of exclusivity of detail. So if you found this video helpful, share with me in the comments below what you thought about it. What are your contentions? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to get more relationships, tips, and I want you to check out the links in my description where you can learn the perfect relationship system you can apply to your relationships, a perfect course, an all comprehensive course so you can have that you need to have learned yesterday so that you can have amazing relationships in your life. I'll talk to you in the next video. Share this video with other people and enlighten the world. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.